Hi there and welcome to this week's vlog. And really the theme, I suppose you could say, is about memories, partly at least. Anyway, I've just started going through the process of transferring all my slides, if you remember those slides you used to take, onto digital format, onto an SD card. I've got slides going back to the early 70s, so quite a few years ago, long before I was even married. So lots of slides to go through, boxes and boxes of them. But I've got a little machine that does that. Takes quite a while, but it's interesting, and it's been lovely looking through some of those old slides, going back to when well, everybody was a lot younger. My family and my sisters had young children, now grown up and adults of course. Some lovely memories looking back, and look forward to getting them onto a digital format so we can watch them on a computer or maybe even the telly. People don't take slides anymore, I guess, and I haven't taken any for years. But I just thought it's time to get them onto digital format while I can. And that memories were reignited in me when last Sunday I was preaching in one of my former churches, and it was so lovely to be back among friends. And the good thing was that there were some new faces there, so people who had joined the church family since we left the church, or that church anyway. But the sad thing was, of course, there were some faces that were no longer there, people who had died, or one or two moved away. So some people who I'd grown, Sue and I had grown quite close to during our time there, they died. And so there was a sadness in that sense. But as I was speaking to the people, introducing the service and commenting on the fact that there were new faces we give thanks for, but some faces no longer there, I was reminded and just mentioned that that verse in the beginning of the 12th chapter of the letter to the Hebrews in the New Testament, where the author says, therefore, since we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, and he goes on to say, let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. And it happened to be the same day of the London Marathon, and I was watching a little bit of that, and I've heard many people say who have run the London Marathon, when the going's tough, what an encouragement it is when you've got loads and loads of spectators, the crowds cheering you and supporting you, and if you've got your name on your t-shirt, they shout out your name, come on, keep going. And that is such an encouragement. I know that when I go out running, it always seems to be easier when you're running with others. When I do a park run on a Saturday morning, it's never easy, but it's easier than if I was just doing it on my own. I'm sure I go a little bit quicker because there are others alongside me and others to chase and to follow. So that image in the letter to the Hebrews is of, as we're kind of travelling down life's journey, as we travelling and moving down the way of following Jesus. Sometimes it's very challenging, sometimes the going's tough, sometimes those who we've known are no longer there. I know that looking back at my slides, quite a number of people featured on those slides, including my parents and my young brother, are no longer with us, and some friendships that I had once, not so close, we've lost contact for whatever reason. But it's important that we have those who journey with us, those who encourage us, those who support us. That's why being part of a caring, supportive church it can be such an important element of our Christian life, to be there for us when we are struggling, and at the same time we can be there for others who are struggling. But the important thing is, of course, as we travel this journey, as we run this race, that we're never alone, actually. Jesus said, I am with you always. Isn't that a great promise? That even when we're struggling in our darkest time, he's there with us. He's urging us on, he's encouraging us, he's walking or running alongside us. He never leaves us alone. So if you're going, well, in the marathon, people sometimes mention hitting the wall. That means that when you feel you can't go on any further, it's just too difficult, too tough. In fact, I was out for a run this morning and it was really tough and I struggled to keep going. But in our Christian life, we sometimes struggle, but we know that he is with us always. Jesus said, I will be with you always. And that is a great promise. So hang on to that. And let's be there for each other. Let's value friendships, loved ones while we have them. Just a few thoughts to leave with you. So let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us as we're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.